authority and government power. And it shouldn't exist. It shouldn't be. It's not a thing. I want the government deadlocked. I want them frozen. I want them unable, either side, to push an agenda. And I want somebody to come in and start taking the reins, preferably a constitutional libertarian. I don't know, maybe I'll run in like 2060 and start pulling it back, reeling it back. I loved Trump's bill that for every new regulation, you got to strike 2 old ones from the books. It was a presidential order that he passed right in the beginning, and I love it. We have too many as it is. Do you know how long the tax code is? I looked this up earlier. I don't script my shows. I have notes here. Like I have Pelosi's quote written down. I don't write down what I'm going to say. I wrote down bullet points, and I write down like dates and numbers. Like exactly like when I spoke on Sunday about exactly how many articles of impeachment were brought up against Bush in the 35 articles brought up against Bush in June of 2008. That's what I write down. I don't script this show. I think of bullet points, and I write down exact dates, exact numbers. And when I was looking this up, it got curious. How long is the tax code? The tax code, remember, the unconstitutional one that they have no right, business, or authority to anyway, is 72,000 pages long. Not 7,200, not 720, 72,000 pages long. Why? Governor, what was her name? Kay Ivey passed a 10% gas hike bill in Alabama. And you want to know what was interesting is there was a big room. I mean, they were in a big, nice room, probably in some state government building down there in Alabama. And you heard people clapping. They were clapping left and right, and they were clapping, and it sounded like this. That's what it sounded like. That's what it sounded like when she passed this bill. That's what it sounded like. And then I realized, because the camera panned out, the room was empty. The people clapping were the 14 men and women in suits that you could easily identify as like the state representatives and the statesmen and the people who probably co-authored this bill, who make a lot of money and have big expense accounts and chauffeurs and things like that. And those are the only people. Because you know what? This 10% gas hike, you know what that means? That means the budget's a little bit bigger, and it means that they don't have to skimp on their big fat bonus at the end of the year. And if you don't think they do it, just look at Flint, Michigan. All right? Flint, Michigan was given money to fix the water crisis, and it didn't get fixed. But you know what did happen? And remember, Flint, Michigan's been run by Democrats for 30 years. You know what happened? I know you can get. I know. You know what happened? They gave themselves $3 million in bonuses. At the end of the year, they begged the government for money to fix the water crisis. They didn't do it. The Democrats squandered that money, and they still have a water crisis. And you know what? In the midterms this last year, when this water crisis has been going on forever, and they were already given money to fix it, and they stole it from the people, you want to know something? Guess who got reelected? Those Democrats. And even after this 10-cent gas hike, guess who's going to get reelected at the next election in Alabama? Yeah, the same people who voted to raise the tax on gas 10 cents. And then I guarantee they're going to give themselves big bonuses at the end of the year. Wake up. The government is not good. All right? The government is too big. It's too big. It should, the entirety of the federal government, I don't know if you know this about the 10th Amendment. The 10th Amendment specifically says that anything not dictated to the federal government by the Constitution is the responsibility of the states. Anything not banned from the states is the responsibility of the states. Anything not banned from the federal government is the responsibility of the federal government. What it basically says is if it ain't in the Constitution, it ain't their job. And it's not their authority, and they're not in authority or in a position where they should be overseeing that and in control of that. The states really should. The state governments are really too small, and the federal government has become too big. The entirety of the federal government should be able to fit in like a medium-ish large office complex and the Pentagon. Like that should be the entirety of the federal government. There's like 3 functions of the federal government, and that is it. And yet they become extreme. They've become an extreme size, and they control everything in your life. And they take from you day in and day out. And guess what? Every single election, you elect people that are going to do more and more and more to further that agenda. There's three functions, and that really is it. And those three functions, realistically, are maintenance of domestic order, military defense, and administration of justice. There's really seven. All right, there's three, but there's like seven because they include stuff like provision of public goods and services. That goes down to like maintaining our roads and making sure that the ports stay open, but really keeping us out of a war, maintaining a military for the war, and maintaining our critical infrastructures, the three functions of government. And yet every election we elect in more and more of these power-struggling toons, these lunatics who are just hungry for power, and they take from you and they take from me. And when's it going to end? When is it going to end? What is going to be the breaking point? What is going to be your breaking point? What is going to be the breaking point of the people to say this is enough? Okay, it wouldn't be the first time it happened. If you remember what happened at the Tea Party, that was over like a 3 pound per, what was it, 3 cents per pound or 3 pence per pound or something on tea, and they raided a harbor just in protest of it. They weren't taxed to a 50th of what we are. Not even close. Why? Why do we keep electing these people? Why are the Democrats that they are? Okay, we know why the Democrats are in power. You know, we have the useful idiots, the good hearts, the misguided are still out there. But why is Ocasio-Cortez in power? She is dangerous. Mark my words, she's not going anywhere. I guarantee you will see unprecedented levels of election fraud just to keep her in power. And I guarantee you she is the next Hillary Clinton. I guarantee you, I promise you, if I'm wrong, call me out on it. I will admit it. She's not going anywhere anytime soon. She's going to be around for a very, very, very long time, and that's scary to me. Anyway, guys, I think I'm going to wrap it up for tonight. A little bit shorter of a show. I think I'm going to keep it a little bit shorter. Thank you to everybody who's been listening in. Thank you to everybody who watched the live stream. I love you guys. It's awesome, and school's out.